is considered a great hero because she was optimistic, patient, unselfish, and strong. Throughout this speech, I hope that you will see why I think that she is someone that all young women can look up to. Anne Frank was born on June 12, 1929, in Frankfurt, Germany, as the second daughter of Otto Frank and Edith Hollander Frank. Anne spent the first few years of her life in a mixed neighborhood of Christian and Jewish children, and spent many afternoons playing with her older sister Margot. In March 1933, Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party was elected in Frankfurt. Measures to rid the town of Frankfurt of Jews was put into effect immediately. Otto Frank feared for his family's safety, so he began to search for a new home in Amsterdam. Edith, Margot, and Anne moved to Germany to stay with the girl's grandmother until Otto Frank found a new job and an apartment in Amsterdam. Otto was joined by the rest of his family in February 1934. Anne began school and attended a monastery school where she enjoyed reading and writing. In 1941, Anne started to attend the Jewish Lyceum, which required her to wear a yellow star. The yellow star was required to be worn by Jews who were 6 and older. The star was the Star of David, and it was required to be worn on the left side of their chest, and had to be the size of a fist, and bear the inscription Jude. The star was to distinguish all Jews from other citizens. Anne received a red, blue, and white plaid notebook for her birthday from her father. She decided to use this as a diary that she called Kitty. This diary will change Anne's life forever and also ours. In July 1942, Margot received a letter to report for transportation to a Jewish work camp. Work camps were slave labor camps where Jews were under extreme and horrible conditions, and they were forced to work for the German war effort. Otto Frank informed Anne of their plan to hide Margot in the room behind Otto's office. The plan had to be moved up a few weeks so that Margot would not be forced to go to camp. The Franks moved into the secret annex on the morning of July 6, 1942. According to Anne's diary, she had to squeeze into 2 vests, 3 pairs of pants, a dress, a skirt, a jacket, a summer coat, 2 pairs of stockings, lace-up shoes, a woolly cap, and a scarf before leaving for the secret annex, because if the Franks had suitcases, it would look very suspicious. The Franks were joined by 4 others in their hiding place: the Van Pels family and Fritz Pfeffer, who was the family dentist and friend. Anne wrote the most intimate details of her daily life during the 2-year stay in the secret annex in her diary. She worried daily about being discovered by the Nazis. Anne passed away the time in the secret annex by reading and studying. Anne wrote almost daily in her diary until her last entry on August 1, 1944. 3 days later, on August 4, 1944, the Franks, Van Pels, and Mr. Pfeiffer were discovered and arrested by the Gestapo. They were then sent on to concentration camps. Anne, her sister Margot, and her mother Edith were sent to the same concentration camps. All of the people who were in hiding were sent to concentration camps, but they were sent to the concentration camps for runaways. Life in the camps were very hard. The prisoners were basically like lab rats. The doctors of the camps would try new medicines and techniques on the prisoners. It is believed that Anne died of typhus in March of 1945. Her sister died 2 months before her. The only survivor was their father, Otto Frank. When Otto Frank returned to Amsterdam, he was given Anne's diary that had been left behind when the Gestapo came. Anne's diary was first published in German in 1947 and then published in America in 1952. According to AnneFrank.com, the diary is world famous, and today it is printed in approximately 67 different languages and has sold more than 31 million copies. Anne Frank is considered to be a great hero because she was optimistic, patient, unselfish, and strong. For some, she has been someone to look up to. For others, she has been a victim of wrongdoing that will help prevent the same tragedy from ever happening again. Her death was unjustly. If she had lived, there is no doubt in my mind that Anne would have lived. She would have been someone who was famous for her life, not famous because of her death. Anne wrote in her diary that I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are really good at heart. Even after everything that Anne has went through, she was still able to find the good in people, and in my eyes that makes her a remarkable person. Linda takes the picture.